All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Horimiya,
episode 11. All right, okay.
Yuki had her, focus episode that may or may not be the conclusion of her character arc.
Yep.
But, okay.
But that was a huge development. Big things on the horizon potentially for her and Tooru.
Yep.
Which is very exciting. Tooru's like one of my favorite characters.
Yes.
And now, what's next?
Who knows?
Yeah. I would love to see how this show decides to kind of build things towards a finale, you know?
Yeah.
Because I could see the finale kind of rapidly just hitting us, like, all of a sudden.
Right.
But I could also see certain things getting built up, because in the OP,
Yep.
there were little boxes, little cube-shaped boxes.
Oh, yeah, there were a few things in that
a few
OP.
things, yeah,
And, yeah, because since the manga's over, and this is a one-season thing, there's not going to be a sequel, where does it end?
Yeah, where does it end? So, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. All right. Okay.
So,
this is
pretty
this
simple
is
episode.
Very simple episode. Very different. I did
Yep.
not expect Shu to get much focus really
Me
at all
neither.
in the story entirely.
Yep.
He seemed just like the Genki boy who hung out with Tooru every once in a while.
Yeah, and if
that.
anything, that's kind of where there's a part of me that's jealous here. Because I would have loved this episode to have happened and it to have been focused on Tooru. Because I feel like Tooru hasn't really gotten like a focus episode so far in the show, and
Yeah, other than like some half focus. in
yeah, like
earlier
he'll
parts.
be involved in other people's stories, but he's a really fun character, and I would love to get more with him. But at this point, I'm thinking he might not, just because
Possibly.
the show's almost over.
Yeah.
But okay, it was kind of fun. I liked the angle of the sister and wanting being all nervous and stuff, and him wanting to help her out. Great.
Right. And the dissonance of the way he is at school versus the way he is at home.
Right. Yeah.
He's way more, I would say, fierce in the like specific ways he looks out for her. But then when he's at school, that intensity, he tones it down in a way and reforms it again into excitement around seeing all these people.
Yeah, just sort of whimsy. Yeah.
In a way that I actually resonate with, because this is something that I feel like as an introvert that very much, I would say, has kind of figured out my dynamic in social situations, that I have sometimes limitless energy. Limitless energy. But the thing is that I also burn out rather quickly. So I will be much more, I would say, excited when I'm in social situations that I'm like thriving in. And then I'll come home and be like, ugh. And then I'll completely like relax. There's like all that energy is gone. I'm gonna recharge, and it's just like save my soul, basically.
Yeah. And that was a pretty fun joke with the sister being like, "Well, we're both the quiet, brooding
types." Yeah.
You know, it's like, wait, what? Because that's totally a thing. Where like I'm kind of the opposite. Where I'll talk your ear off if you're someone I know.
Right.
But if you're not, generally I won't. So I tend to be a lot more soft-spoken when I'm around strangers.
Right.
But, if you were to see me around people I'm comfortable with, you might be surprised by that. Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know. But, okay. So, that was fun. I was a little bit confused when they shifted focus to the sister, because it was grayscale when they started the scene. And a lot of these characters, I differentiate them by
hair color.
Eye color.
Yeah.
But two, because it was grayscale, that made me think it was a flashback.
Yep.
So I couldn't tell the hair color.
It was it kind of was a flashback, but it was so short of a flashback.
Yeah,
in terms
just
of
like
how
earlier
far
that
back it
day,
was.
right? So I was thinking like, wait, is this Mia like when he was way younger, like or who is this?
Right. So the point of it being grayscale was to showcase the emotional situation and the hopelessness that the sister felt in that time, and that makes sense because they've been doing this thing of where when people in this story deal with really tough situations, another side of them basically tugs on the currently displayed side, and they have to wrestle with the internal reality of their who they are with what's going on in the external. And that's a really cool dynamic to get into. I wish that this happened more with characters that we actually had investment in.
Right, because this was a side character for a tertiary character.
Yes.
You know, like
Right.
so much so I didn't even know that they were a character, and then we're going to focus on that person's sister.
Because
Like,
they were literally said in the beginning of the episode of, oh, did you know they're an older brother? It's like,
right, which is like, okay, and
Cool.
and I'm all for the sibling dynamic story being told.
Right.
So cool, right?
Yeah.
And Sota isn't quite old enough for it to be like, hey, what high school do you want to go to? You know.
right. Yeah.
But you know, very very compelling concept and content for the story. I just would have personally preferred
Yeah,
if it
with
was
different people.
It was different people.
I agree. Also, this episode probably felt the most just kind of disjointed of a bunch of the episodes we've seen.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the moment-by-moment story beats were tiny little skits, which I love that,
Yeah, like
especially in comedies.
this show in particular has done really well with that in the
Yes,
past.
but this was not a comedy episode.
And
A lot of the things
yeah.
that they were focusing on were not comedy skits per se, but actually little bits of characterization for people that have had very little characterization up until now.
Right.
So if this was a story that went on for maybe another 2 seasons, this could be really important stuff, because
Sure.
then those characters would get more time to showcase how that stuff that we got characterized here gets brought up in conflicts and drama later. However, that's probably not going to happen.
Nope. And I feel
So-
like Sawado was another
Yeah.
good case of that, because the last time we saw her was, you know, if I recall correctly, episode 6.
Yeah.
Right? That's a long ass time ago,
And that was
considering.
all we got of her before that.
Right, exactly, because she wasn't in the show at the beginning. She
Mm-hmm.
was introduced late, and this is a one core series.
Yeah.
So this almost felt like something where in the manga she maybe had more scenes, but they were
I
pointed
think
out.
it's definitely the case. Yeah.
Right, and then yeah, because a lot of content would be cut, but like
A lot. Yeah.
to get it down to one core.
Right.
But that like because she's more of a supporting character, we have her introduction because that's fun and it's
Right.
like got some sweet stuff in there, and then we kind of phase her back out of the story. But then because she was relevant to the focus character at the time, you know, she ends up kind of being brought back into this.
Right.
Okay, and
Sure.
and I thought the thing was kind of funny of her being like, I hate that he's so loud and obnoxious, but then he ends up being sick, so she thinks that her words devastated him somehow.
And
you know?
then she doesn't want him to hate her, because I totally get the anxiety surrounding there's someone out there that really hates me.
Right.
I want to resolve that, because then I feel guilty or ashamed because I made that happen.
Right, especially if you think there's a specific cause of something you did, as
Yeah,
opposed
most-
to them just hating you for no reason.
Well, I know, but most people internalize that kind of stuff and blame themselves.
Sure,
I would say
yeah.
more often than not, people blame themselves for things that they shouldn't actually blame themselves for in
Right.
general. And
especially
this-
when you're young.
especially when you're young. So this being an instance of that carries over a little bit thematically with the idea that there are people in this episode that all think that there's a potential way in which someone else in the group could hate them
Right.
because of something that was an unspoken like kind of interaction dynamic that shifted things. An example being the idea that Yanagi could potentially take away all the friends that Mia has made
Yeah.
since coming into high school, because it's not
Understandable concern.
it's not just that he has these friends, it's that he didn't have he had the opposite experience in middle school.
Right.
So being here where now all these people are really enjoying his company and stuff, in a lot of ways because of the interactions with Hori, this has changed a lot of the ways how he interacts with people. I mean, obviously Tooru was good friends with him beforehand, and then we had people like, you know, Shindo and stuff like that. But this being something where a new character who comes in where everyone really likes them, they're really attractive, they're really goofy, he's got a fun shtick and everything, and I'm feeling a little bit, you know, jealous and stuff. But I'm not really. You're fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I won't take him away.
Right. That's cool.
Yep.
I wish maybe what they did was just kind of accept that some of these characters are not going to be important characters in the focus point. So give a couple characters like Tooru and maybe like I don't know. I think Yanagi could be a cool one to maybe like have as that one tertiary character that gets a lot of focus or something, but then go a little bit deeper on them,
right,
and just be a little bit more efficient here, because I totally get that probably in the source material the ensemble high school cast was so big and grand and wonderful, and it was all spiderwebbed wonderfully together.
Right.
I just don't think you have time to do that in a series like this.
And the more, like, thinking back on the show with, like, some of the recent episodes, like, even the one with the kid that with the rabbits and that was really mean to Mia, it's like that's something that I care about because I care about Mia's past, right?
Yeah.
But that was more something about that other character who was a character I didn't know existed until then. And it's like there are characters in the show that I really like that I wish we could have got more time with, but now I'm starting to realize it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
which is a little sad. But
it is a little sad, yeah. But all in all, I would say that if the story can bring things back towards Hori and Mia in the next couple of episodes, because that's all we have left.
Yeah.
I really feel like they can deliver a really powerful emotional finale. But I think this is the last episode you can really do this kind of thing with.
Yeah.
If you want the ending to land well.
Because now I'm thinking, like, what even is the ending going to be? Is it just going to be them graduating high school?
Graduating, yeah.
Because and that feels like fairly standard and all, but you know, it's again one of those things of like different expectations. Because at the beginning, when it seemed to be moving so fast, I thought that we were maybe even going to get some stuff post high school.
Sure.
You know, probably just going to keep it to high school, keep things simple.
I mean, it probably will be having some stuff technically like past high school.
Sure.
Because they're already in winter.
That's true.
Which means then that we have, what, 3 months?
Which, you
Isn't
know, for
March the final month of
I believe so.
School, technically?
Yeah, so 2 episodes to, you know, do a couple months. Yeah. Yeah,
that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably are going to do a Christmas episode.
I would love that.
Like, I feel like this story needs to do that.
Yes. Because they're already family, you know.
Yeah.
Apart from the whole dating thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
I
just
want to
skip ahead to graduation and a bunch of stuff after that. So
I want to see Sota opening presents.
As the two of them
drink hot cocoa and watch him with smiles on their faces.
And I want to see the dad being awkward and being like, Mia.
Right.
This is for you.
And then Hori's just like, oh, you're actually here for the holidays.
Yeah. And then it's the Kama Sutra. And they're like, Dad! And he's just like, hey. You can totally see it happening, though, right?
Your dad is exactly the kind of
That's
person
the kind of guy he is. He would absolutely do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.